What's going on, Lock Talk family? It's your boy Jason. It's Monday Night Football, Money Making Mondays. And let's talk about today's game. The Atlanta Falcons are at Philly against the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's get through it, man. So if you guys want me to keep on coming up here and dropping these gems, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. And last but not least, I always ask you guys, please, if you guys want to tap in for the daily to get all my plays for all the sports, whether it's WNBA, MLB, NFL tonight, go to that pinned comment down below. I left a special discount only on YouTube. I always do this on Mondays. I've been a while away for a long time just because I've been traveling. I'll get more into it right after this. But yeah, guys, love you all. Let's keep on running up YouTube. We've been absolutely killing it from the month I just started. So why have I been gone for such a long time? I was in Vegas doing some work, doing some meetups, and I stayed for the entire UFC Sphere event. I'm going to post some videos about it. I'm going to post some vlogs, things like that. So if you're a subscriber, I still got a lot more vlog content to post. I still have Italy. I still have London. I still have St. Louis, Miami, and now this long Vegas trip that was completely unplanned, but absolutely insane. If you're not following me on Instagram, you wouldn't know, but on my Instagram, I was posting as much as I could besides on my personal page. But yeah, guys, let's go talk about this game because I know that's what you're here to talk about. So just to start off, if you could see me move myself around because I want to get in the way of all the stuff. But Falcons are 5.5-point dogs against the Eagles at home. Makes total sense. Usually, just to give you some context, teams are usually about 3 to 2.5 point favorites just for being at home. So if this game was in a neutral site, it would be about a 3-point spread if the Falcons and Eagles played in some neutral part. Some key factors to, I think, understand for this game, from last year's stats at least, the Falcons had a really strong defense against the run. They were ranked number 1 in EPA last year. While on the other side, the Eagles actually struggled against stopping the run, giving up 7 yards per carry in week 1 this year at least. Jalen Hurts, probably the biggest news right here will be this right here. Let's see if I click on it. My man, A.J. Brown, the number 1 receiver for the Eagles, will be out. He has a hamstring injury. He's out for Monday night's game against the Falcons, which I think will be huge for these reasons. Number 1, even though he is out, I will say this. He still has Devontae Smith, who is a Heisman-winning wide receiver, an amazing wide receiver, but he is not A.J. Brown yet. A.J. Brown is still the number 1 wide receiver for this team. So if you have Devontae Smith in your fantasy, you should be a little bit happy. If you're going to try to bet props, at this point, his lines are definitely gotten bumped up as a result of A.J. Brown being out, but still a huge loss. I do think they will have to use Saquon Barkley a lot more. I mean, just take a look at how he did last game. 109 yards for 2 touchdowns. He absolutely dusted the Green Bay Packers, but the Green Bay Packers were not a good rushing defense against the running back last year, so I wasn't surprised. We had Saquon Barkley on his rushing yards and receiving yards, so I mean, he did absolutely incredible. So that's the big news in my opinion for the Eagles. Some things you have to consider is A.J. Brown being out, and I think they'll probably have to do a little bit more of a run-heavy offense using Saquon Barkley and the like, but take into consideration last year that this Falcons defense was pretty good against run EPA last year. On the other side, no big injuries for the Falcons, at least from what I saw, that are really important. The Falcons are featuring some big upgrades on their defense, though, like Matthew Judon. So this may force Hurts to try to throw, which could play into Atlanta's hands. They do have a pretty good rush defense, like I said, from last year. Again, number 1 in run EPA last year. And I mean, with Jalen Hurts not having A.J. Brown, I don't know what they're gonna do if they do have they do try to pass. You know, will they be less effective because he really has only 1 star receiver to go to? So I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how they adjust with no A.J. Brown. But take a look at the defense of last year of the Falcons. In terms of third down conversions, they're pretty good stopping third down conversions. That's pretty impressive. Pass yards, they're ranked number 8 in the league. But when it came to rushing yards, they didn't do as well. But again, it's a little bit EPA's a specific stats within rushing. Take a look at the Atlanta offense against the Eagles defense. So we take a look. Rushing yards, they're one of the top 10 teams in rushing. Number 9, obviously, Bijan Robinson is an absolute beast. Eagles did give up a lot of rushing yards last game to the Green Bay Packers. So I think Bijan is a step above Josh Jacobs. So he may have a good game this game. Obviously, he didn't do amazing last game, but I think this might be a little bit of a better matchup. I do think with the setup, right, because A.J. Brown might be out, Falcons do have a pretty good pass defense, especially with upgrades like Matthew Judon from the Falcons side. This could be a pretty defensive game. So if I'm taking a look, I mean, obviously, Jalen Hurts, he still didn't do that great. 2 intos, 2 touchdowns. I mean, I honestly think the Eagles got a little bit lucky that Love got hurt in the game in Brazil. You know, if he was playing, who knows? I mean, Green Bay was in that game for basically the entire time. So they could have lost that game pretty easily, in my opinion. And I'm not going to lie, I thought the Eagles were... I picked the Eagles to win that game, but I only had a bet on Saquon. Kirk Cousins, I mean, he had a pretty decent game. 1 touchdown, 2 intos. I mean, that's not good either. But again, I think they'll probably have a rush-heavy offense with Bijan in this game against the Eagles, as they gave up 7 yards per carry last time against the Green Bay Packers. But, you know, just to kind of get to it, Eagles 5.5 point favorites. The public's definitely be all over the Eagles. I mean, this is just the matchup predictor, which basically means who people on ESPN are voting for. And I think it's going to be the same. I can't pull out the money stats on where the money. Let's see, money. Okay, I see on the bottom right here. If I can move this around, hold on. I don't want to move my face. Let's see. So we take a look. Where's all the money line bets? They're all over the Eagles. The spread bets are actually, majority of the money is on the Eagles. But the majority of the bets are on the Falcons. Over under looks like majority of the bets are on the under, which makes sense in my opinion if I was just to make, like, I guess, bets on the game. I actually think this game could be a defensive type game, even though it doesn't really sound like it, right? Like, Eagles, I mean, they gave up a lot of chances. I do think that points could come to a premium. I'm not probably going to bet the over-under. My game pick for this video will be, though, I think the Falcons at plus 5.5. I think there's some good value. I think statistically and how the numbers in the matchup come up, I think the Falcons can keep up close by limiting the Eagles' possible rushing attacks, as they may be one-dimensional. Their passing offense may not be as effective with A.J. Brown being out. As a result, I do think Eagles may have a tough time scoring. And if they do score, they'll probably have to use up a lot of that clock. On the other side, I do think the Falcons can run the ball, Bijan. I think they can get some chances, and I think they can stay in this game. I would love a 6-point game, but I don't think we're going to get it. I think at plus 5.5, I have to go with the Atlanta Falcons, man. Who I think wins the game? I do think Philly probably wins the game, especially at home, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if the Falcons end up winning outright. I mean, I'm not saying they're only going to win just because A.J. Brown's out. I do think the Falcons, with their offense, can get the job done, man. But yeah, man, so for my game pick, I would go with the Atlanta Falcons at plus 5.5. If I was to pick like the over-under, I would probably lean on the under, but it's not my favorite among the two. Give me the Falcons, man, plus 5.5. And guys, once again, if you guys been liking this content, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Who do you guys got in this game? Atlanta Falcons and the Eagles, man. I'll be back up here tomorrow, man. I'll see y'all in the next one.